Hello YouTube. I purchased this used from somebody and I got it to go ahead and try and make it basically as new as possible. I'm going to try and replace quite a lot of parts on this bike and try to make it aesthetically look new, but also to ride like new as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and walk around it with this camera so you guys can take a look at all the stuff it's got. It is a basic bicycle, but it's actually a very good quality bicycle. It's got Shimano Turn ETX and it's got 7 gears in the back. I'm showing you this bike without touching it at all yet. This is just the way I purchased it. It's got quite a lot of issues. For example, you can see these lines are starting to crack. There's rust here and there. For example, right there you can see some rust accumulating there on the gears. It needs a good cleaning for sure. It's got scratches here and there. I'm gonna see if I can find a way to get rid of these scratches, at least some of the lighter scratches. Here's the brakes. You can see here it's got quite a bit of rust. Some of these parts I'm gonna go ahead and replace, like this right here. The brake noodle will definitely get replaced. This is gonna get replaced. It looks very bad. It doesn't match the color of the rest of the bike. Somebody had put this on after the fact. I'm gonna replace, for example, the seat to a more comfortable seat. 3 gears in the front. Shimano Tourney still. If you guys are wondering what bike this is a Giant Escape W. W stands for women, I'm assuming. It does have a frame like this. I'm not sure exactly what you call this type of frame, but it's the one that most women bikes seem to come in. It does make it easier to throw your leg over the bike and sit if you're a lower height person. And yeah, handlebar. This little white dots here, it looks like it's overspray. Somebody must have been spraying paint spraying something and it just oversprayed onto the bike. The handlebars are kind of terrible because they're very sticky. Looks like the rubber on it is breaking down. So those are the shifters. One good thing about this bike is it does come with quick fire shifters. So it's not the twisty one, which I really do not like. So that's one good thing about it. Yeah, so there you go. The front brake, again, the noodle is very rusted. I'm gonna most likely go ahead and replace this. I don't think I'm gonna be able to clean that up, at least not easily. Brakes. Wheels are 700C. I believe it's 32mm wheels. And this bike is currently rideable. There's nothing wrong with it. You could actually take it on rides. Nothing wrong with the tubes. No punctures. So really it's just mostly an aesthetic issues that I'm going to fix. Yeah, I'll try to see. We might have to make some fixes to make it also more comfortable and also ride smoother. A lot of that will come from cleaning it. Most likely re-lubing it will also help it out quite a bit. Alright, so what I'd like to do today is get these grips off. I'm going to replace them with new grips that I bought. I'm going to clean up the bar. If it still looks quite ugly, I might actually paint over it and remove this dinky little reflector. And I'm going to clean up these shifters a little bit, make them look nicer. I might also have to spray paint these, I'm not sure yet. We'll see how they clean up first. If I have time, I will also change the shift and brake lines here, all of these lines. But for now, I'm just gonna try and go ahead and clean it up and change the grips. So the first thing I'd like to do is go ahead and remove the front brake cable. Alright, so I want to stop for a moment and talk about this toolkit here. I bought this toolkit a few years ago when I got my first bike that I wanted to maintain myself, because a bicycle is actually quite a simple machine. It's not like a car. There isn't all that many things to learn about it. Just to maintain your own bike and actually keep it running and keep it smooth, you can do most of the work yourself with some basic tools, but you do need some basic bicycle tools. So I went ahead and bought this kit a few years ago, which includes pretty much so far everything I've needed. Quite a lot of different kits out there. This one was sort of like the best bang for your buck type of kit to buy. There are definitely brands out there that are more expensive, but you get better quality. And then there's also brands that are a lot cheaper than this brand, and of course they don't last as long. But this is the kit I've got and I've used over the years, and I'm really happy with it. Let me go ahead and open up real quick and show you guys what's inside. Kind of just a quick run through, and so you guys can see, kind of get an idea of what you're gonna probably need to get if you're gonna do work like this on your own bike. This kit, it's just like a regular toolbox. A lot of the stuff you see up here I actually have accumulated over the years. They don't come with the kit, but a lot of it does. It definitely comes with more tools underneath. For example, cone wrenches and just cleaning tools and stuff like that. You get your basic hex tools. And here's even more down here. So it comes with the chain tool, for example. Bottom bracket tools of different kind, 2 different kinds of bottom bracket tools and such. So you get quite a lot of tools. And the tool I'm about to reach for to do the next part in this video is this one. And this one is basically a tool to cut your shift or brake cables, including the outer casing if you need to. So yeah, so anyway, I just want to kind of give you guys a heads up that you are going to need some special tools if you're going to do all the stuff I'm going to do to this bike. A lot of the stuff I'm going to do, you can use just regular, simple home tools if you have those. But I do recommend buying, if you are serious about owning a bike and you don't want to waste a lot of money taking your bike in to the shop for every little thing. A kit like this doesn't cost all that much, and it'll get you through a lot of different things. I'll leave a link to this kit in the description of this video. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and continue now with the rest of the video. One thing I want to mention is when you start removing all these cable housings, I know your first thought is to just get rid of them and throw them away, especially if they're all messed up like the ones that mine are. But don't throw these cable housings away. You're gonna need them for measurement. So when you put new cable housings over those cables, it makes it a lot easier to reference the length of the old ones. So just keep these around until you put the new cable housing and everything is good. Another thing is sometimes cable housing doesn't come with these ends. these cap ends here. So you might have to reuse these if it doesn't come with it, or if you don't have any extras, you might have to reuse these. So try not to throw these things away either, until you're sure you're not going to need them. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and untighten these and move them down to the center so I could have some room to remove the grips. Alright, so in addition to the air compressed air, I've also got some rubbing alcohol. These two combinations together work well. So one thing you do is you go ahead and drip some of this through the edge of the grip here and down into it. And then you get the compressed air and blow it in and start pulling it out. Like that, it comes out. Over here there was some overspray, like white color overspray from something somebody was spraying next to it, and I went ahead and cleaned that up. Now the way I got the overspray off is, I mean, you could get it off many different ways, but I used paint thinner. You just have to be very careful when you use paint thinner. You don't want to like just rub in one area for a very long time, or else it's going to actually take the paint off the bike, off the frame. But if you just kind of gently wipe the area where the overspray was, just a little bit, it'll actually take the overspray off very quickly, and you'll be left with a nice shiny bike. So another thing I have done is I have painted handlebar and the stem part here, all these parts, I've painted matte black underneath, and I put also a few clear coats over it. Matte finish clear coats. They came out pretty neat actually. It looks pretty nice. Definitely looks much better than it was before. So I'm definitely happy with the way these came out. So I'm gonna go ahead and put all this back together now with the new shifters, and we'll see how that looks. So I've decided to go ahead and install new shifters and shifter brake lever combos on this bike, because the ones that are on it are just really low quality shifters, and I'm unable to easily change the shifting cable from the old ones. So these were actually on eBay. I saw them and it was just an open box. Someone was selling it. They never used it after they ordered it, and it fits the bill just perfectly. It's 3x7, just the way this bike is, and it looks basically new. It's unused. It comes with the shift and brake cables in the box. The shifting cables are actually pre-installed, so I don't have to open up the top here and install it. The bonus is that I get free shift and brake cables along with the housing. So for a little over 20 bucks, not a bad deal at all. And these are much better shifters, much better quality. So it's definitely going to add to the bike quite a bit. Alright, so before I continue reassembling everything, let me go ahead and stop and talk about if you're going to maintain your own bike to have a bike stand. It's pretty much almost impossible to do very good job, or at least do a decent job of maintaining your bike without one of these. They're not all that expensive. This one was extremely not expensive. I bought this one on Amazon. I wouldn't recommend buying this particular one because there are some issues. Over the years I've been noticing that these caps here, these rubber caps that help hold the bike in place, come out every once in a while. And the other problem with this particular stand is that no matter how hard you tighten this back portion, this whole part keeps spinning around and it just doesn't stay solid in one spot as you want it. It's not bad. I mean, I've been using it. It does a pretty decent job, but if I was to buy another one, I would not get this particular one. I'll still put the link to this one in the description of this video, so you guys can take a look, kind of. But you know, shop around, see if you could get a better quality one. One thing I do like a lot about this particular stand is that it has this tray here where you can put your tools and parts that you're working with close at hand. But yeah, whatever you do, definitely get a stand if you're planning on repairing or maintaining or even cleaning your bike. They really come in handy, and it makes the work much easier for you to do. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and continue with the rest of the video now. What I've done so far is I've taken the older seat post clamp off, gotten myself a new seat post clamp. This is not a quick release clamp, and I'm not really all that keen on quick release clamps anyway. It just makes it easier for people to take stuff off your bike, I think. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put this simple one on. Stick that right there, just like that. And I'm also going to change out the seat post and the seat. So this was the old seat here. It's just a basic seat and the seat post. But what I don't like about this is just the mechanism here. And the way it clamps onto the seat, it just makes it hard to adjust. And this is a nice aluminum, looks like it's a Bontrager seat post. And it's the new style clamp. And here's the seat I'm going to use as well. So I'm going to go ahead and use this seat. It's a slightly more comfortable, well, actually quite a bit more comfortable seat. It's got much more area on top. On the bottom it's got springs, so it's just makes it a little bit more smoother to ride. And so this post here will work with this seat very well. So looking at this bolt down here, it looks like this bike probably used to have a kickstand, but it looks like the previous owner must have removed it, and now all that remains is this rusted bolt. So I went through my old spare parts pile of stuff and I found a kickstand I can use. However, this kickstand's kind of crusty and it just looks pretty ugly. I'm gonna see if I could go ahead and clean this up a little bit, make it look a little nicer. Alright, so it's time to go ahead and change the shift and brake cables. And what I've done is both brake cables, the noodles were extremely rusted and just really bad. So I went ahead and ordered myself a couple of new noodles. I got a pack of 10 of these. I'll go ahead and put the link for this down below. It's very cheap. It was like less than 10 bucks for 10 of them. So that was a good deal. And I'm gonna go ahead and replace both noodles, front and rear, and also the shifter cables with the ones that came with the box. If I find that I don't have enough in this box, I have some more cables, cable housings I should say, as well, so I could use those. And I'm gonna go ahead and use of course the cutting tool to cut the cables and the housing and everything to size. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the old cables to reference sizes and just kind of cut to the same size. Since I didn't change anything drastically, these sizes will continue to work. So I'm just gonna reference the old cables.